Hi, I'm Galaxy and thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be continuing our discovery of the Lost Ark classes. This one's going to be the warrior video. I'm very excited. I have already picked mage, the sorceress advanced class to play in the game, but I do want to learn about the others because I know I'm going to need a lot of alts in this game. I've already started playing around with the character creation and stuff. So yeah, this one here is the warrior video. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. It is super duper helpful. And you can also catch me playing Lost Ark on Twitch. The link is just down here below. Anyway, let's get to it.
Western launch of Lost Ark, the warrior archetype will have 3 subclasses for you to choose from. The Berserker,
are there more than 3
Paladin, and the
in the original
Gunlancer.
release?
Each of these are primarily melee focused, as you might assume. There are a few ranged abilities, but for the most part, you are meant to be out on the front lines.
They look so tanky.
And helping your team. The great news is that each warrior subclass excels in multiple roles in the game. For both PvE and PvP, any of these are going to be a pretty strong choice. Whatever you're playing to focus on, you really can't go wrong playing one of the warriors. Starting us off is the Berserker. This is the first class that I was initially drawn to. He carries a massive sword and he swings it really hard. Now the Berserker is a top tier burst damage class.
Huge
you really
sword.
need to
It's
focus
just
on lining up your abilities to try to dish out a ton of damage in a small window.
Like a spin to win
strong
class?
Alone, Berserkers especially excel with just the tiniest bit
win.
of support to help offset some of their weaknesses, and at that point you become a damage dealing machine. For the Berserker class identity, you have a fury meter that will fill up when you attack, and once it is full you can hit Z to enter burst mode. Once in burst mode, you just become a crazy god. You attack 20% faster and have a 30% increased crit rate. On top of that, you can hit Z a second time to activate Bloody Rush. This is a skill that
looks so fun.
Massive damage, then stabs forward, dealing more damage and knocking enemies back. When you first start playing this class, things are on the slower side for the Berserker. That's definitely the case. They've got some fairly long cooldowns, and sometimes you might be left waiting on abilities. As things progress, things really speed up for the class, and it becomes much more fluid. On the PvE side,
I can't get over the spinning.
Burst damage classes. For that
There's
reason,
always
you're
one.
Great for chunking health bars. Also, you've got debuffs on enemies as well as buffs for your allies that just across the board will help boost your party damage. Having a Berserker in your group is just going to mean you're dealing a lot more damage to the boss. In terms of PvP, they are also very strong, really in that team setting.
Haven't tried
if you have a
PvP
group
yet,
that can help peel and set up engagements, you're really able to wipe up players pretty quickly. But they do need a little bit of support. But with that, they really
are the moves slow, so, to go with having a big sword?
Across the board is a pretty good choice. Next up, we've got the Paladin, wielders of the light and a one-handed sword. Paladins are kind of this offensive healer. They deal okay damage. It's not quite on par with the pure DPS classes, but they can definitely help out.
So Paladin's the second support class then, because we already had Bard.
Their main role, though, as a buff and support class. In fact, the Paladin is one of only 2 supports that are playable in the game. So while you're dealing damage, you're primarily there to aid your allies with shields as well as a passive heal. As a Paladin, the class identity
does it feel slow if you're playing by yourself, though, if it's not doing as much damage?
Once it's full, you've got 2 different abilities you can choose from. There is Sacred Executioner, which increases the attack range of basic attacks and punish skills by 30%, while also increasing the damage of those attacks and abilities. Or you can choose to activate Holy Aura, which creates this 12-meter aura around your character, increasing all party member damage by 10%.
It
so
moves
your
with
choice
you?
is a stronger buff for yourself or a
that
buff
is
across
really
the board
cool
for your teammates, and that's really what you're likely to do in a group setting.
Normally,
now,
you just
leveling,
place things down, you have to
certainly
stand
able
in
to hold
it.
your own. You can clear the content, you can make it to the story, and you can do a fair bit of these solo things. Your damage isn't that bad, but certainly come endgame, expect to be a support. That is the role of a Paladin. You are there to help out your team, helping them survive and do more damage.
Right, okay.
In
They
PvE,
just answered my
Paladins
question.
are highly sought after because, again, they are one of only 2 supports in the game, so any party is going to want either you or a bard in their group pretty much for all of the content. You're not going to be a strong damage dealer here, though. I have to reiterate that. The class just does not scale well compared to pure DPS classes.
I don't know if it looks as fun. I really like the buff that moves around with it, but I don't think it looks as fun as the Berserker.
With the way scaling works in Lost Ark, the Paladin is actually a real damage threat on top of all of their powerful support skills. So in addition to your shields and your healing, you've got some strong peeling and damage dealing capabilities. So if you want to feel like a holy warrior dealing some damage but primarily helping your team, I think you'd be happy with the Paladin. And last but not least, we have got the Gunlancer. Now,
I've heard the Gunlancer is pretty strong.
And it is the tankiest class in the game. The truth is, though, it's just a super durable damage dealer. It keeps up with every other damage class while also being tanky and supporting the team. I think the best way to think of it is, instead of like a glass cannon, you are a rock. You deal boatloads of damage while just standing still rather than like hopping around evading damage.
That sounds unfair.
And you deal it back in return. This has actually become one of my favorite classes.
I'm a sorceress. I take damage.
A strong contender for my main pick. One
this
unique
guy
mechanic
doesn't.
for the Gunlancer is that instead of a forward dodge or dash, which all of the other classes have, Gunlancers have this short range backstep. It's also the evade with the shortest cooldown, so you can dodge damage more frequently than other classes.
That looks really cool.
Gunlancers have
pretty
this
handy.
shield meter. It will fill up passively as well as every time you attack.
Like can get you
and then at any point, no matter how
position
full the meter is,
to AoE, like conal AoE.
There is defensive stance. This surrounds you with a shield.
Assuming it has conal AoEs, I think I've seen it.
Your shield meter instead of your health. The only drawback is you move 50% slower. On the plus side, it completely ignores enemy attacks, mechanics, gives you push immunity, so you can just sit there and not flinch. You can ignore mechanics with this skill. It's crazy. Your other skill is the Battlefield Shield. This will consume all of your available shield meter at the time. It lets you move instantly to any location and then smash down damaging enemies while also giving you a shield proportional to the consumed shield meter, as well as granting push immunity to your team and redirecting any damage they take to you for 5 seconds. For all of these reasons and more, Gunlancers are highly valued in PvE group content. They can just make fights so much easier. They can distract the boss, they deal strong, consistent damage, and they keep the boss faced away from the other DPS.
If there's no like trinity, do these tankier classes like is there an aggro thing that like an aggro table where
redirect abilities? All of this will help
the warrior classes
They've got
do
that taunt
attract
skill that can even skip
the
some
aggro
mechanics. They can ignore mechanics themselves thanks to defensive stance, and they're also pretty good at clearing trash. They've got a lot of abilities that deal massive increased damage to trash mobs. In the PvP side of things, they are really good at peeling and disrupting enemies and just in general supporting your team. In general, you are there to make the other team's life a lot more difficult
looks pretty
so that
fun.
your DPS can take them out. Currently, the Gunlancer is my favorite class, and yeah, this is probably what I'm going to play.
Okay, so I have some thoughts about warrior. One, they can clearly only be males, which kind of sucks because I really like the idea of a strong female warrior. Hopefully they do bring, or hopefully they like ungender lock classes soon, but Berserker looks really good. Something about Spin to Win is super duper fun, even though maybe it kind of feels a little bit cheaty, I don't know, but I really like the look of Berserker. Paladin maybe not so much. If I was gonna play a support class, I think I would play Bard, but that's probably personal preference for me, though that move where the buff moves with the Paladin, that it looks awesome. Gunlance just seems really OP right now. I wonder if they will nerf that because yeah, it's like not taking any damage, but it's also doing a lot of damage. I think I would pick Berserker though. Maybe I'll make a Berserker. What are you guys playing? Are you guys playing Warrior? If you are, which one are you playing and why? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and you can also follow on Twitch where I am playing Lost Ark, and the link is just here for you. I'm going to continue to watch more about the classes so that I can pick my alts, and yeah, thanks for tuning in. Bye.